There's a new plant growing off the stem right here. Killed it within like 3 weeks. Look at this foliage. Hello, I am still knee deep in plant chores in this plant room, prepping everything for winter. I started noticing all the new growth, new blooms, all these new things, and I'm like, I don't think I want to film this plant chore right now or today. I'm going to just do a favorites video. So we're still doing plant chores. I'm kind of stopping so we can document all these new things, and I actually realized I should do this video so we can document things before fall comes and see how the plant room is doing. Also, filming favorite videos kind of gets me really excited about filming and my plant room again. I think I gotta get back to doing this because these kinds of videos don't really get a lot of views for me, but I get excited about my plant room when I do this kind of video. So because I've been doing plant chores for like a week straight, and then it's going to continue going for the next 2 weeks, doing this video would definitely help me with the burnout. I don't know if you guys do content creation, you know what I mean. I was talking to my friend Daphne today from Daphne Tries Plants, and I realized there's just so much going on that I just want to tell you guys. So we're going to walk around a plant room and I'm going to show you some things I'm excited about before everything slows down. All right, let's do it. All right, so first plant is my black magic, my begonia black magic. Oh my gosh, this has grown so much, and I bet you I need to water it. Yes, I do need to water it. We're gonna water right now. I'm gonna go give it a water. It's doing really well for not having water. Look at this foliage. Look at this. This plant, why haven't I gotten this plant sooner? There's so much new growth and I love how dark it is. There's these little spots on it. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm loving this plant right now. This plant is going to be featured in my goth video that I'm going to do soon, but I'm going to get this watered. I'm going to water this real quick. Okay, so I understand that I am the one that leaves self-watering pots empty and not have it filled. One day I'll get a better routine with that. Okay, so yeah, this plant has definitely surprised me and it is one of my favorites right now. I cannot stop staring at it, and it's also one of my favorite plants for October. The one amazing things about begonias is that they grow so fast. I am sure that if I were to prune this back, it would branch out even more. So that would be something I would consider for when I'm doing my plant chores for getting everything ready for fall. I can share this plant with my neighbor and share this with maybe someone else before all the winter comes. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites right now. Another favorite right now is this euphorbia. Oh my goodness. This just started growing late summer. Yeah, all this kind of like leafy growth on here. I love that. I've never seen that before. It's very unique and cute, and loving that. I am so shocked that I am able to keep this plant alive because I am such an underwaterer. Look how dry this is. I should really water this, but I'll water it later. It's still in the same pot when it came. Euphorbia. I'm just very surprised by this plant. Okay, so the next plant I want to share is the Hoya multiflora. I wish I was sharing this plant where the blooms was already here, but I'm sharing this because I already have peduncles. There's a peduncle right here and there's one right there. I don't know if these peduncles are going to stay. Usually when I first get peduncles on a new plant that I get, it might fall off. So I'm just sharing this now in case it falls off. But yeah, if these open up before I edit this video, I will show you what it looks like. So yeah. Hoya multiflora. I'm very excited that this is a very new plant for me and I already have peduncles. This Hoya is definitely, the leaves are way thinner than any other Hoyas that I have known. So definitely a surprise for me with this plant, but I'm looking forward to seeing it bloom. Okay, this plant, I revived it from death. If you remember my purge video that I did, this plant had rotted. I saved a few cuttings of it and it has taken root and doing really well. I will be putting this in possibly pond. I am actually finding out, you'll see with another plant that I'm going to share, that begonias have taken to pond really well. And I have always grown my begonias in soil, but I'm going to be doing a video where I transfer my begonias to pond, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to do. But for the one plant that I have done this experiment on, it is doing so well. The leaves are even like bigger than the normal leaves. So we're going to put it to the test. So I'm gonna move this one to pond once I have time to do that in the plant tour video. So yeah, I am very surprised that this plant has bounced back and I'm excited to get to grow it again better this time. I'm gonna do this plant better. A Begonia bipinnatifida, I think that's how you say it. It doesn't smell anymore either because the plant, when I took it out of the cabinet from my plant purge video, it was rotting and smelling pretty bad. So totally bounced back. I kind of want to move it to my terrarium setup, but I think pond would do the plant good. We're experimenting with pond, so yeah, I'm very happy with the way this plant has bounced back. Okay, I haven't really shared this plant before. Is the monstera albo that I bought as a cutting. I have done a few reels and shorts on this plant, and shockingly enough, it's just grown so much since, like, this is the node that I had this was the node, and this is what I've gotten from it. It took a long time to kind of get going, but once it's got going, it it's just really surprised me. And I am shocked that I do have like a variegation with it. Look at that leaf, very nice. Hoping to see like if this variegation continues to grow. It seems to be still there, a light variegation. So I don't know, we'll see. This side is not as variegated, this side is. So I'm very excited to grow the albo. Why? Versus the Thai constellation. Now, I love the Thai constellation more than the albo, but I am very excited to grow the albo because it is a smaller plant and I kind of wanted to crawl up my wall. I don't know if my husband would really appreciate that, but we're going to be doing some plant tours with this plant. We're going to give it a repot and probably kind of some support because it. It's been kind of hanging on this cork paper that I have, and we're gonna give it a little support. I'll have to figure out what kind of support I want to give it. I'll probably put it on a wooden pole or something back here. But yeah, very, very excited about this plant. Okay, so the next plant, this is the begonia in pond. Let me show you the begonia that's not in pond. Okay. Okay, this is the Begonia brevirimosa, and this is the one not in pond, and this is the one in pond. The leaves are so much bigger already, and the plant seems to be doing so much better. We're transferring this plant to pond. We're going to do it. but it's gone on my favorites list because of that. And this is all the roots that's already grown out of that pond. So yeah, it's just doing so well, and the leaves have sized up quite a bit. And I know it needs a support, and I will be giving it a support, but we're gonna get it fully moved into a bigger pot with the other setup. And you know what I'm gonna do with the begonias? I'm not even gonna put it in water first. I'm just gonna put it straight to pond and water because begonias propagate so fast. I'm just gonna do that. But yeah, this is the next one as my favorites. I'm just shocked of how well it's doing in pond. Begonia brevirimosa, and it's very beautiful. Okay, I've added this to my favorites list, but it's kind of not really a favorite plant, but I really do like what's happening. This plant came to me for free as a surprise corm in my Hoya multiflora pot when I got it, and I plopped the corm in this pot to see what would happen, and in no time, this is what came from it. I'll put the name of what I think it is. It is very, very beautiful, but the problem with this plant is the leaves are just very thin, and it scares me for spider mites, which is why it's kind of not one of my favorites. And I do like what's happening, and I do love the color and everything. I mean, it's like black and green. Favorite color of mine is black and green. So but this plant will eventually go to my neighbor. So she doesn't know it yet, but she's gonna get this. It is very beautiful. I am yeah, it's nice, but I just don't know how well it's gonna do with me and spider mites. Okay, so I'm just gonna do these two. These are the anthuriums that I had repotted a few months ago, and they're just doing so well in here. I know I need to water it, but I'm kind of letting this dry out a little bit more than usual because they are anthuriums. Yeah, the leaves have sized up quite a bit. This one is the Bessier cross with some no ID and red crystallinum. Ugh, very beautiful. It looks so nice. And this one, also nice. This one is the papillolaminum and Doriaki crossed with forgetii. Yeah, I can see the Doriaki in it. I definitely don't see the forgetii. I see the Doriaki definitely. So these are some of my favorites right now. Another favorite. It is an alocasia, surprisingly. The Alocasia macrorrhiza albo, and just doing and looking so stunning. It grew so fast. Of course, I'm losing this leaf. This was the leaf that I first got when I got the plant, and this was the second leaf, and it's really tiny, but then all the leaves started sizing up. So this plant is going to get really big, and I had planned for this. I had a place to put this already once it gets big in the next few years, I want to say. But yeah, definitely I wanted that variegation. I wanted to see that variegation, and it is so stunning. I love that I have this plant. I hoping I can keep this alive through winter and see how I do with it. Yep. Shockingly beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, doing really well. Of course, I have it in a self-watering pot. I wonder how it would do in pond, but I'm not really looking to test this out right now. Probably in the next few months, when if there's another corm from it, I might transfer that to pond or something. We'll see. But I like to experiment with pond on this one because it's like a hardy alocasia. Okay, I have so many favorites. It's because I've been looking in the plant room trying to get things done, and I'm seeing all this new stuff. So I'm like, I have to share. I just have to share. But this is the Piper, oh boy, the Piper parmatum. I am loving the foliage on this plant. I actually snipped off a little bit of this plant and put it in my terrarium to see if it would take off. But yeah, it's doing really well, and I know I'm gonna have to put it in a larger pot soon. Yeah, because it's in a very tiny pot, but I kind of wanted to do that to see how it would do. Self-watering pot, it is loving it, so that's probably why it's doing so well for me. So pipers are in the same family as peperomias, but they're a different genus, I think. But yeah, loving that foliage. Oh my gosh, it is so stunning. Kind of reminds me of an anthurium cross with like a begonia, right? Yes, another one of my favorites. Okay, so the next favorite of mine is blooming. It is the Hoya, I want to say callistophylla, but it was sold to me as something else. So it's kind of an unknown Hoya to me. Although looking at the bloom, it does look like a callistophylla bloom. So, with that said, loving that I have a bloom already. And the plant kind of was stagnant for quite some time, and all in a sudden, it started growing for me. And I have some more leaves coming out here. Yeah, definitely a plant that has given me quite a surprise. And the blooms smell like nothing. It's a light fragrant smell, but nothing really big. Okay, I have to showcase this plant again. I had this in the IKEA cabinet and I had to take it out because it was just getting too big. So I repotted it as if you guys seen that in a plant tour video that I did. And I repotted it in a self-watering pot and I left it out of the cabinet. It is doing phenomenal. And it dropped all the blooms, but it's blooming again. I love the blooms on here. The blooms are going to change pink. Love that. But look how beautiful. It surprised me so much. And these leaves are so reptile-like. It's so beautiful. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. This is a common plant. And sometimes common plants definitely have a way of like making it into your heart and knowing that you always have it in your collection, because this plant, it is a, did I say the name of it? It's a Pilea Moon Valley. Pilea seems to really get my attention, like these kind of Pileas. There's other Pileas that I just don't like, but these Pileas definitely something very unique and different. Yes, so it's growing outside of the IKEA cabinet and it's doing well. And for us, once winter comes, let's see how it does. But the good thing about these plants is they propagate really easy. So I would prune it back right before spring so we can have that new growth. Okay, I have to share this plant. My Alocasia Zebrina, it only has 3 leaves right now. It definitely had more. I lost some leaves, but can I just tell you that this plant was one of the first kind of like uncommon plant that I got when I was starting collecting for my plant hobby, and I killed it within like 3 weeks. But through a lot of perlite and water and humidity, I revived it back after 8 months. And this is what I have. This was a tiny starter plant. This was a tiny starter plant, and I revived it back and is doing so well in no drainage. And I know that there's like corms in here. I don't know. I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it in no drainage. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I cannot believe I have an alocasia of this size. Never in a million years would I have believed that I could do this. I'm so thankful that I figured out how to grow alocasias. I don't know how else to grow alocasias without no drainage. If you know another way to grow them to make them happy, let me know, because I've tried leca, I've tried soil, I tried pond, and this setup seems to be the only one that works. Okay, I can't do this without sharing my Hoya Compacta. It is blooming again for, I don't know, I think it's like the third set of blooms that I have. So I have 3 blooms right now and a 4th one on the way. And it might be, I had to smell it, right? I had to share it before fall comes because this plant is probably gonna not bloom again until spring of next year. So I love this plant. I know that this plant is not much of a plant that people like, but it is just so unique and I absolutely love it. It is one of the plants that got me into collecting Hoyas. I think was this my gateway Hoya? This was my gateway Hoya. I thought that my gateway Hoya could have been my Carnosa, regular Carnosa. It was the Carnosa Compacta that got me into looking more into Hoyas. Love it. So yeah, I had to share it. I had to. I'm actually going to be giving it a repot before in one of my Hoya videos that I'm going to do for the plant chores. I'm going to give it a repot for fall and have it all set up for the next few years in a new pot because this pot is just so small and I just want it a little bit more secure because it's a very, very large plant. And I think I'm gonna give it a water. Okay, so next plant, Hoya. I am sharing that the Hoya obovata. This plant I purchased just a few months ago and it's just done so well with growth. Stunning. This is one of the quickest Hoya that I have ever had. It's grown so quickly. The leaves that were very small, that is what the plant looked like. And as soon as I potted up into soil, these were the first new leaves that came. And the leaves just kept looking even better and better. It's very splashy and very dark. It didn't look like that before. I'm loving this plant. I actually really hope I get blooms from it sometime next year. We'll see. I know that it'll be a while before I do get blooms. I love me my Hoyas, and of course I need to water it. So we're going to water while we're doing this. I am sharing my micans and amazing. I had to kind of cut this plant back a lot and then the root system was not looking great. So I'm happy to say that I have all this new growth on the micans. There's all these new growth here and new growth coming up here. And then when I look at the roots, I'm happy to see that. This plant is going to stay in this pot for a while because it definitely was under cared for in my collection, but it's just doing so much better. And I actually have a few nodes propagating right now, so we're going to stick that back into the pot to get a fuller pot. Yeah, but it's doing well, and it's going to continue to grow. And I'm looking to get a really bushier micans because this is one of my favorite philodendrons, and probably because of the dark leaves. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites right now. And I'm so happy to see all this lovely. Do you see all that new growth on here? I'm just so happy to see that. Makes me happy. And I'm sure I need to water this plant. So we're going to do that now too. This next plant is losing a leaf, but it is my Alocasia azlanii. And I added this to the list because, of course, it's giving me a new leaf. But is that this is the only alocasia that's taken so well to pond. And when I repotted it, it didn't shock. So I'm happy to report. Could I be getting better with alocasias? But yeah, this leaf is just, I hope it hangs on a little bit longer because it is stunning. Look at that pink. But and then the new leaf is coming in and I'm excited to see when it fully unfurls. I really love this plant and I love having it. As much as I complain that alocasias are hard, they are very, very beautiful. I am adding this plant to the list. This is the heartleaf fern. It is actually sitting in here. I had to cut this plant all the way back. It died off, and it died off because I had it under too much light and doing so well. Surprised by this plant and growth. I want to continue to keep this plant and grow it. This is another plant I had in the beginning of my collection, and I want to continue my time with it. This plant is very stunning and give me a challenge a lot because it is like if I don't water it, if I don't give it enough light, if I don't give it enough humidity, it definitely put me to the test. I want to eventually turn this into a little terrarium setup and it would live in here. So that's going to be a project for probably December, maybe. We'll see. Okay, surprisingly, I'm adding this philodendron birkin to the list because I repotted this plant recently from a tiny little snip I took from my plant that I had that I was giving away. And I saved a little cutting for this 2 years ago, and it survived and started growing really slowly. But I repotted it recently, and the minute I repotted it, I already have 3 new leaves. It's just growing really well. And I don't really like the birkin. I don't like it too much, but I am just surprised that it's just doing so well. I'm probably going to be giving this plant away in the next few months. I don't know if I'll be giving it away to anyone in my neighborhood during winter, but someone's in my neighborhood is going to get this plant, and I want to kind of give it extra special care because I know it's going to be going to someone else. But it's on my favorite list this month because of just how well it's doing. Very nice. Okay, so I have added this plant to the list. It's not the last plant, but there's one more. My philodendron ghost, just stunning. Stunning plant. I am looking forward to seeing this grow up and size up for me. Shocked by this plant. I've never owned one before until now, and I don't know why it took me so long to get it. So the next plant I want to show you is not really a plant yet, it's propagation. But I wanted to show you that I moved this, I cut this plant in half. The Begonia summer storm. The summer storm is in the living room right now. I don't want to go in the living room right now because my dog is there and he's sleeping. I don't want to disturb him. But I saved 2 leaves from that plant. I split the Begonia summer storm in half and gave one to my neighbor, and I kept the other half for myself. I saved these leaves for make a new plant, and it is already rooted from the stem. And there's a new plant growing off the stem right here, and of course in the middle, which is where the new plant come from. But I was just surprised to see that it was growing a new plant from the stem. There's actually roots growing over here as well. I just love the whole propagation part of begonias. That kind of gets me really excited to grow begonias. And this one too, this is the other leaf, and it has lovely roots, and it's growing a new plant right there. Yeah, I I have not seen this plant for sale since I bought it, and I think because it's probably a hybrid plant propagated from another kind of begonia. I don't know if I'll see this again, so I want to make sure I always have this in my collection and I get to share it with someone else because they just propagate so easy. This is the actually last plant on my list. I'm sure I could find more plants to show you, but I think I need to stop. It's like 40 minutes recording, and I'm sure once I make the edits on that, it'll just be a lot shorter. If you're enjoying these updates and want some behind the scene content, come over to my Patreon. It's a place where you can get extra videos and definitely more behind the scene things, and it's another way to support the channel. I will leave the Patreon description below. I also left my YouTube membership on as well for early access videos and extra videos too. So that's also there for you to join if you want. Thank you so much for today. A little plant chore pause. Getting me excited about growing again, because seeing all these updates kind of makes me really happy and excited, and can definitely break that burnout creator kind of thing where I'm busy trying to get things done in the plant room and then I'm filming. Some of those things can just definitely really work on the stress levels and give you a dose of burnout. So thanks for hanging out with me and doing something fun in the plant room. And I would love to know what is going on in your plant collection. Tell me about your favorite plant. Tell me about what's been happening in summer and now that fall is on its way. The cold front is coming in a few weeks for Indiana. So before everything slows down, please give me some updates. And thank you so much for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your day and don't forget you are loved. All right, goodbye.
Peace out.